Okay.
You know what's not full of shit though is doing an intro. And I mean, we don't even really need an intro because I've just been looping in the last one. What we do need though is a
Is
sweet, sweet clap
all
because the
right.
people have come to expect it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna let you do it because you probably wrote a brief today.
Oh no, I didn't.
It's okay, you can improvise.
Okay. All right, here's my clap. 1, 2,
Okay.
3.
Hi, I'm Maggie. And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters in law.
We started with Suits and then began scheming.
If you love TV, check out what's streaming.
It's only show fans. Only show fans. It's only show fans. Only show fans.
Scoot a little
I
bit
did want to
back.
scoot back. Here's why. Because we have continually had a sister-in-lawly debate about whose head is bigger. And after being in the, hang on,
No.
okay?
Okay, you keep
Are you
going. And
taking, are you getting out of,
I'm pulling up some receipts. You keep going.
you're pulling up some receipts. Okay, you can pull up receipts, Maggie. If anybody wants to go back and look at the live recordings of our last two podcasts where we were side by side, we were not sitting, like one wasn't sitting 2 feet further back than the other. My head is American Dad on steroids. And you have the cutest
Nope.
little petite head. So I'm currently 27 feet back from my monitor so that my head looks the same size as yours.
I have a way bigger head. That receipt wasn't a good one. Never mind.
Okay. Look, here's the thing.
My
I'll drop
head
it in the
is
show notes
yeah.
per usual. Go look at the footage of us. It's fine that I have a bigger head, but I
You have
just
a
need to
longer
feel
head.
like
I have like this. If we were to do heads by volume, okay?
weigh our heads. Or
No,
we have to
not
get the next time I'm
way.
there,
Like
I'm gonna
how
have to
much
put
could
my head on a scale.
no? Like how much could our heads hold? Like if we calculated the volume, like the circumference, the diameter, the times pi. I have more volume to my head than you
Okay.
have.
So you're saying you can hold more and that you're smarter.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I just said my
Okay.
head is bigger. Is that what you've been
Okay.
saying this whole time when you're saying you have a bigger head? Are you saying that you're smarter? This
No,
whole
it's,
time,
I mean,
you've been this whole time,
no,
I have a bigger head. I've got a bigger head. Are you just trying to say to me I'm smarter? This
no, I'm
whole
saying
time?
I'm saying I'm full of shit. This head is so full of shit and full of herself. Come on now.
All right, and here's my brief that I'm going to
Okay.
improvise because Tim Robinson, here we go. Tim Robinson.
Well, we're watching. You want to tell the folks what we're watching?
Yes, we're watching The Chair Company. This is part 1, and we'll come back for the last 4 episodes. 4 to 6. We don't know how many episodes are there of The Chair Company, Amanda?
We do know.
Do we
I
know?
think there are 8.
Do we know?
There's 8. I Googled.
Okay.
I Googled it.
We always think though that we know. Okay, yeah, we're watching The Chair
Right.
Company. All
Okay.
right. Tim Robinson
Okay.
is a phenomenal improviser. And as tribute, I will be improvising this brief about The Chair
Okay.
Company, which had me at the edge of my seat. The most relatable show on television, as Tim Robinson's character deals with customer service, with poor product, with trying to get to the bottom of something that should be simple but continues to spiral into a complicated mess. I find myself saying, this could and would happen to me at every twist and turn. If you have not started already, you must give The Chair Company a little bit of your time.
That's great.
Thank you.
This show it's not for everyone because I know Tim Robinson isn't for everyone, which is disappointing to me because he is one of those comedians who should be for everyone. And I gotta say, I was so pumped to see HBO Max or Max Diddy Doe or whatever they're calling themselves now say, you know what? We're going to let you do this show. Like, I thought
Yes.
that was so excellent. Didn't you?
Yes. Well, here's the thing though. I can understand um like Tim Robinson in his sketch stuff, like sometimes it's like, okay, it's one note. Like this character is going to get upset and scream. I find him more everyone's cup of tea in this show. So even if I think you've seen Tim Robinson and you're like, I don't vibe with it, that's not my style, you should still watch
Mhm.
this show because I find it so incredibly it's like this is the annoying thing that then kicks you off into you're so furious. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Do you agree? Disagree?
Oh. I totally agree. I'm just glad he's getting more shows because
Yes.
he kind of bounces around from network to network and project to project.
Yes, that's
And I
fair.
love
Yeah.
it. Like I think I'm wondering if this will be the thing where everybody is like, I'm all in on Tim Robinson.
I hope so cuz this is so
I
good.
mean,
So
this
good.
is fantastic. Do you want to start here a little bit about?
What the show's
We
about?
should give a little high, yeah, a little high level because I think we want to talk a little bit about the plot. More importantly, the relatability because this show is for everyone.
It is.
This show is all of us.
It
Because
is.
I will say this before you hop in, I watched the first half of the first episode with you and
Yes.
Kyle, my
Mhm.
brother,
Mhm.
and you kept saying, "This is me. This is
I did.
me.
I
This is
did.
me. This is me. This is me." And
Mhm.
Kyle was standing, he had walked into the room acting like he didn't have time for it. We knew though we'd get him with a Tim Robinson show.
Yeah.
And he stood there like this with his hands crossed, just with like a mild Kyle smile. A mild Kyle smile. Is
Like
that
this.
are we gonna trademark that? A mild Kyle smile.
Malcal.
He was like watching it. He wasn't like, doubled over in laughter, but he was watching it as in, this is also me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly when the pillow scene, like early on.
Yes.
I was like, this is me. And you said, I think this is you. And I was like, this is literally everybody. This show is all of us. The last one was Nobody Wants This. The show is This Is All of Us.
This is all
Truly.
of us. Because we all sit in
Yeah.
chairs, right? So this could happen
Most of the
to
time,
all
we
of us.
find ourselves sitting in a chair.
Is that why you are currently podcasting standing up because of this show and your fear that
Yeah.
what happens in this show would happen to you?
I am quite fearful that I will. That is the reason I'm standing up today. I am standing up because I don't want to fall back and make an ass out of myself. And I don't want, instead of somebody from the company to see up my skirt, the entire internet to see up my skirt.
Could be great for
And by skirt,
ratings.
I mean the fact that I'm wearing a decent looking top with my workout pants from Sam's Club. So I have on a podcasting mullet, if you would.
Mm.
Business on the top, party on the bottom.
Party on the bottom. Yeah, so
Party
this
on the
whole
bottom.
show kicks off with Tim Robinson's character, William, right? That's his
Mhm.
name. He is working on launching this mall in Ohio, and he's the project lead for it. And this is a huge deal, a huge promotion. He's been chosen, and he has to get up and say some inspiring things to this company that is like mall developers, right? And he gets up
Right.
and he nails it, right? Like there's so much pressure on him to nail this quick speech, these quick regards to the troops, right? The people that do the work.
Right.
And he gets up there and he slays it. And you're just like, man, I'm so proud of that guy because he was so nervous about it. He goes back to sit
Yeah.
in his chair on the stage, and the chair completely collapses. And he slams his head, and
It
it
does.
takes the wind out of him and the wind out of the room, honestly.
I mean, anytime somebody falls or has a heart attack or dies in the middle of a meeting, I think the wind is kind of sucked out of it.
Yeah, and it's like, well, now it's no fun, right? Like now no one's going to remember those inspiring words about this mall being incorporating nature and being the place to go. They're just going to remember that William fell off of his chair and looked up his coworker's skirt by accident, not
Okay.
even on purpose.
Quick depo, though. Quick depo
Mhm.
for you. Early on, this happens,
Yeah.
and you're scheduled to speak next after this. what would your opening line be
Mm.
as you walk up there? Because you like after we realized he's okay and we have to move on with the programming,
Right.
what would you say?
You have to say something to call attention to this, right? You can't just go into your remarks, but then you
Yeah.
also can't like joke too much about him falling, which is kind of what happens. He has to get up and be like, "I'm fine, ha ha ha. Oh, lay off the donuts,
Yeah.
ha ha." Ha." I think I'd say,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I think I'd say like William really knocked it out of the park and then knocked onto his ass. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I would
New
say
choice.
new choice. I'd say um I think we're all falling in love with this plan. William especially. No.
That's good.
No,
I'm not
no.
gonna new choice again. I like
No,
that one.
no, no. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Mhm. Well, the real low-hanging fruit that's just easy would say, be like, that's a tough act to follow. But
That's yeah.
that could be, yeah.
You're in the
I
corporate
think
jargon world. You get
I
corporate
am the
humor.
corporate jargon, like let me get a laugh out of the people who don't laugh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think I'd actually have everybody I'd be like, everybody could just stand up, please. And then I would say, and please remain standing for your own safety. And then just see if everybody would commit to standing for my presentation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I'd be like, thank you so much. This was not necessary. Please take your seats at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even
And
like
then
on
add
behalf
photos
of William, no one sit. If he can't sit, none of us are
yeah,
going to sit because we're a company
in
that
solidarity.
stands behind one another.
There you go. Oh, this is great.
We don't take things sitting down.
No.
When life
No, I
hands you a
think,
broken chair, you
yeah.
take it as an opportunity to stretch those legs, stretch yourself.
This meeting has become so wheels off that the wheels are off.
Yes. Yes.
This is why whenever you're introducing a new mall project,
Mhm.
we need to be there.
We
Which
should.
I'd also like to pause and talk about the absurdity of all of this.
Yes.
There's so much like absurdity within absurdity, which I love. And that they're building a mall.
Yes.
In Ohio, not far from you, and they're building a mall, and people are like super excited because we have this mall, and we're doing a kickoff, and then later on we find out people are upset there's not a tribute to football inside of the mall. So then I would say to you, next depot, when is the last time that you've been to a mall?
I actually recently went to a mall like 2 weeks ago. I went to the mall
Okay.
here in Erie,
Okay.
Pennsylvania. And I went because my mom was in town and we went to get our nails done. And there's a nice little nail salon inside the mall. But you know what? It's also like an active mall that kind of looks like from the early 2000s, like peak mall land
Love,
time. And
love it.
so
Mhm.
it's very nostalgic to go in and walk around. And there's some cute shops. I went there to get my daughter and my ears pierced
Okay.
too. So, I
That's
mean,
right.
they also have an arcade there. We're at the mall, honestly, more now than I think I've been in years.
Okay.
How about
Okay.
you? How about you?
Well, up until last night, I would have said it was a few weeks ago I had to pop into a Dillard's for something, which was very rare.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, I was in my hometown of Tyler, and I was there for a memorial service. And it was very lovely for a friend's mother who had passed away a few months ago. Very well done. Very like celebratory, like this was a fun, service to
Putting the
celebrate her
fun in
life.
funeral.
Putting the fun in funeral.
Mhm.
It was just the name of our family funeral home. And my best friend since the first grade, Lauren, you're familiar with her work. We are in the car and we're driving from the service to our friend's house, her mother's house. People were kind of going back there afterwards, to hang out a little bit. And as we're kind of coming over the corner, we see all of these bright lights. And we are pulling up on the Broadway Square Mall, which is peak 90s mall
Yeah.
and is kind of dead. Inside of the parking lot of the Broadway Square Mall was a pop-up carnival.
Oh my gosh.
And Lauren and I, in our funeral clothes, pulled into the parking lot and went and bought tickets and rode rides.
Oh my gosh.
And I happened to have some like sneakers. So I kicked off these like 3-inch heels, put on sneakers. Lauren is in a dress. She's completely flashing people while we're on these rides. We are upside down. I have filmed one of them. I did not know this, but one of the kids like put their phone down on this ride and turned the video on. They're like, "We got to capture it." I go, "Oh, yes, we do." So I filmed us on this ride where you hear Lauren having entire conversations with people about. She's like, "We just came from a funeral. Isn't this fun? We don't do this enough." And she's yelling. This is like the most fun. I am not yelling at all. All I'm doing is holding in the wine that I've had, thinking,
Oh,
do not
God.
vom this ride. Do not vom. So we
Mhm.
rode 2 rides. That was the last time I was at a mall. It was last night in funeral clothes.
In the carnival in the parking lot.
Carnival parking lot. And as soon as we got back to the house, we're like, sorry, we're late. We had to stop and ride
Some
the
carnival rides.
Whamagazam and the Zipper or whatever. And they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did not hear about those girls who just fell out of a Ferris wheel. And we were like, ugh. To be fair, these rides were hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Lauren's seatbelt on this thing that came down had like raveling threads on the
Yeah.
seatbelt material. And I go, Lauren, is that safe? She goes, I'm sure it's fine.
No.
I mean, this was literally hanging on by. They wheeled that thing into Tyler, Texas, popped it up, and then guess who took advantage of it?
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys
Cheapest
survived.
cheapest night at the fair I've ever had. It was like $20 in the park. We parked right next. We literally could just see the inside of my car from these rides. We were parked right underneath them.
Oh my gosh. And the carnival rides are so scary because it is like, oh, you just put this in and it's not drilled into any cement or anything. And it's just people
Oh,
are
no, the
like, yeah,
ride was
whatever.
moving.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Way to really like grab life
Yeah.
by the horns and say, fuck it. Let's go.
I have been doing that a lot lately. That's kind of been my motto. I'll probably rethink this the next time.
Yeah, maybe
I
like
mean,
just like 2 steps. But I'm proud of you for doing that's a risk taker move, Amanda.
yeah, I'm not gonna. I can take risks, Maggie. You know
You're
that.
like
I can take
super
risks.
risk takey.
Not all the time. Lauren did think it was hilarious because there was a time she recalled in the 4th grade we were at the Texas or maybe the Tyler State Fair, maybe it was the Texas State Fair, and we were on the Kamikaze, which is a ride that goes phew, phew,
Oh yeah.
phew.
Oof.
And as they put the cage down, I screamed, "I don't want to do this!" Sort of banging on the wall. They opened it up, and so her mother had to get in and ride with her. So, anyways,
I can't believe they opened it up for you.
I made it fit.
I feel like
Look,
the
if
scariest
I want to
part
be
of
heard, I'll be
amusement
heard.
yeah, I feel like the scariest part of amusement park rides is when you're like, "I don't wanna do this," and then the teenage kid is like, "Have a fun ride." Slick. And you're like, "Oh no, oh god." Or like you're at the top of the log flume, and then you're like, "Ah,"
Mhm.
and they just go, "Bye-bye." It's like so scary because it's just teenagers
So
who
I
have you
love a
adjusted.
log. I love the log flume. Is that what you called it? We call
Yeah.
it the log ride here.
Uh-huh.
Tomato, tomato. I love a log ride. I
Uh-huh.
love it.
I do too.
It's one of my faves. It's the upside downness of it all.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
think a log ride is typically not popped up in a parking lot of an old mall. Like a
No, that's
log
true.
ride is fixed, there's regular maintenance. It isn't a kid who's on his phone who is 17 years old running
Right.
this
They
machine.
have more that's like you can't be on your phone. You can still be a kid working the
Wild.
ride, you know?
Wild.
Yeah.
We digress. Sorry, let's get back.
Yeah.
All right, all for malls, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring
I mean, I
malls
used to
back.
work at an amusement park too, so I get it. Like, it's a
You
fun
did.
fun
You
culture.
did.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, no, malls. But you know what Tim Robinson says in the first episode? He's like, "You've probably been in a mall and you don't even know it." He's saying that to the waitress because she's like, "I haven't been in
Yeah.
a mall. I can't believe they're building a mall." And he goes, "No, you've probably been in a mall." And she goes, "No, I'd know." And they get into like this back and forth. And he's absolutely right because he's like, "Why wouldn't she just say like, oh, okay, I guess I've been in a mall." Like she digs her heels in and it's like she's making him feel so bad about being someone who builds malls.
He also was fighting a teenage server at the restaurant.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he had to be right. He had to be right.
Well, I think you and I can both relate to that.
I strongly relate to that. I strongly
Yeah.
relate.
Look, I'm not always right. I just won't tell you when I'm not. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm right on this.
No, exactly. So yeah, this shows just kind of the absurdity of this chair breaks, and then he goes on this quest to just try and basically have someone from the chair company acknowledge that this chair was poorly made. but he's on the
Mhm.
website and you can't get in contact with anyone. And then when you finally
No.
do get in contact with this third party, they can't connect you to the chair company. And he's like, these chairs are dangerous. I need to talk to someone. And that spirals into this obsession because he cannot just easily access someone who could solve the problem. And this to me, of all the relatable parts of the show, this to me felt so real because and we've talked about this before, but
Mhm.
customer service is should be easy, right? It's like you should be
Yeah.
a service to me, the customer, right? You should
Mhm.
be saying, I'm so sorry that happened. Like, it's no skin off your nose to be like, I'm so sorry to me, right? You're just the
Yeah.
service rep. Or like, that does sound like a challenge. Let me see what I can do. Even if you can't do anything, let me feel like you can. And I
Right.
cannot, cannot deal when someone's like, nope, can't do anything about that. Or like, no, that doesn't, let me put you on hold. And I'm just like, I can't. I become Tim Robinson in those moments.
Well, what's interesting is that Tim Robinson isn't even really getting that kind of support or even like half-assery. There is a no-assery in the level of support because he is going like around and around and around to try and get in touch with Tecca to hear them and to get them to hear him out and to find out what's going on. And the deeper he dives, the more he realizes Tecca is clearly a shell company for something
It's
else.
a
The big red ball
sinister.
company.
Mhm.
They're sending him emails, like responding to him finally, and he like clicks on it and it says, "Are we done, Ron?" Like they're out to get him. So Tecca is a mecca problem.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, and
You
at
did
one
that on
point
a
he gets
Friday.
assaulted in a parking lot, and then he goes on a journey to try and figure out who knocks him over the head and tells him, "Stop investigating the chair company," and becomes kind of partners with the security guy, and they together
Right.
are digging into this seedy underground world of Tekka, trying to get answers. They're in, like, abandoned warehouses. The security guy's dad's in his closet taking pictures, right? Like, it's, like, so
Right.
much is happening, and it's all, like, he can't tell anyone about it, so he has this
No.
mounting pressure of this chair company while also trying to launch a mall, dealing with HR, which I'm sure you know about,
Yes.
which
Which I,
deposition
I
for
do want to
you?
talk about. Yeah, you can depot me on this one because I had some hot thoughts about the way HR handled this.
Okay. Well, the first one is this woman who Tim Robinson's character accidentally looks up her skirt. She's like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I know you probably didn't mean to look up my skirt." And he's like, "What? Yeah, of course I didn't." And she goes, "But I'm going to tell HR because you did. And it was my birthday and you looked at my skirt." Right. And he's just like, "Why would I ever intentionally do that? Like, I sat on a chair, everyone saw it, the chair fell, I opened my eyes and you were standing there. Like, I did not." And she's just like, "Well, I just think that HR should know." Right.
Yeah.
Um, and then it goes to HR and then it's a whole mess because they're like, "Oh, did you go to high school with her?" And he was like, "Yeah, but she's kind of a loser." But then they find a picture of him with his arm around her from a school play because she played like some handmaid. Anyways, this complaint comes to you, Amanda Austin in HR, or this
Yes.
alert. How do you handle someone saying, "Hey, this guy looked up my skirt on my birthday, and I just think you should be aware of it."
I'm not in HR anymore.
Mhm.
Um, if I was, I, I I would, I have to hear them out. And I also would like to say that we need to believe women because women are not believed often enough when they bring complaints forward.
Right.
I would have to do my due diligence. Um, because if I particularly had been there, it would also be like having to do interviews from other people. Like, do we think this is intentional? I think them jumping, they have to bring him in. They've got to bring, what's Tim's character again?
William? I think that's what it says,
Yeah.
but then is it Ron? What is it? You said, "Are we done,
I don't
Ron?"
know.
His name's
Oh yeah,
William.
it's Ron.
Well, but I think his first name is William on the internet, but I think they do call him Ron. He is Ron.
Yeah. Yeah. So you of course you need to bring Ron in. Hear her side of the story. Bring in Ron. You can ask a couple people who were there. I do think they jumped the shark by bringing in an outside investigator to observe them together, and also to say we're here to have them observe, because regardless of what their dynamic is, it's now going to be different because somebody has been brought in and they've been told, we're here to observe how you guys act together. And that's kind of weird. And so I think if it was me, I would be nervous and be like, okay, I need to overcorrect and do this, or maybe I need to be
Right.
really like,
And then it
people are
looks
going to be in their head
suspicious.
regardless.
Yeah.
It does. I think it makes it more suspicious. I don't like the way this was handled. It's not the way I would have handled it. I would want to ask her a little bit more about what the birthday had to do with it.
Yeah.
Why that was relevant to the story.
Well, I think it probably ruined her birthday.
Well, it sounded like she liked it on her birthday because she kept talking about it. I mean, she's like, she keeps bringing this up, and I also
She's
wonder
processing it, She's like,
I wonder if she, if this is something that she likes Ron, and so she was like okay
oh,
with it, or if she's out to get Ron, and this
hmm.
is a way to do it, or it's just this is something like we don't know the reason behind it. I do think it's interesting. I would ask you this question. I'm going to flip it back. Would you go to HR
If someone
if that were
looked
you?
up my
Would you
skirt?
go to if somebody looked up your skirt after they fell out of a chair that broke and you happened to be standing next to them?
Yeah.
Like that in this exact scenario,
You know
would
what
you
would
have gone to
happen? I
HR?
don't think at first I would have. And then I'd probably be like having margs with my friends. And then I'd be like, yeah. And then, for my birthday, right? So afterwards, I'm like, oh, let's all go out. And then I'd be like, yeah. And he looked up my skirt. And then one of my friends would be like, that's messed up. And I'd be like, what do you mean? And they'd be like, yeah, like that's so messed up. And then I'd be like, yeah, you're right. You're right. That is messed up. And then I'd go in the next day and I'd be like, just a heads up, that was messed up. And then I would go to HR.
Do you think he looked up her skirt, or do you think he fell down and she was there?
I
That's the
don't know.
question.
I don't know.
That's
I
what I would
mean,
want
we
to get to
saw
the
the
bottom of,
camera
honestly,
angle. We
is
saw the camera. We saw it up
we
there.
see the camera angle. So that would be my question, is like, did he fall and then go and like scoot over to go look up and see it as an opportunity? Because that's messed up. Or is it just like the way he fell,
Well, he
right?
looked up and then
The reason I asked
immediately
the question,
made the eye contact. Do I think really it was an
well,
accident? Yes. Yeah, I do think it was an accident.
yes.
But I think I can understand why
Because
she was like hyped up to go to HR just to report it. Just be like, you should put it down there, because what if he ends up accidentally falling out of his chair all the time and looking up other women's skirts? Like, okay, like this could be a pattern. So let's
yeah.
just put it down on
Yeah,
paper.
sure. Yeah, I guess it's not gonna hurt to have it on paper. I think about somebody that I know very well who fell in downtown Fort Worth, and because she like slipped, and there was like it was like a lot of wind coming, and it blew everything up,
Oh my
like
God.
everything. So people saw her, but like they weren't like they didn't know they were gonna see it until all of a sudden they saw it. Like, and
Hmm.
there's things, I'm even like, not to be dark, but there's like a lot going on in the world, and seeing like there was a video of an ICE agent who tackled a woman and her pants started to fall down, and the internet was nice enough to like blur that out, but
Yeah.
like nobody was trying to look at her on her backside, like nobody was walking down the street thinking, I hope I get to see this. It's just like a circumstance that like happened, a
Yeah.
happenstance.
Yeah.
So I would want to know if he like took advantage of that situation to go look, or if he like truly was just like,
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're seeing this from his perspective, and from that perspective, it was a
literally.
complete ridiculous accident, and this is a ridiculous thing to come and bother him with. Just like that guy who got passed up for the job. He's like this older gentleman, and he's like,
Mhm.
congratulations, I'm glad you got it. And then he starts wearing this bubble necklace because he's like, since I'm not going to be the boss, I'm going to be the bringer of joy, right? Like I'm going to be
Yes.
blowing bubbles and I'm going to be having fun, because there's no reason you can't have fun at work. And this is also
And he has a
someone,
mistakes party. He has the
yes,
mistakes party.
yes, which is like, sorry, bosses can't come because this is a party where I want people to come and make mistakes. So like no bosses. And this man is
And you have to wear
like,
a bracelet. He's so real. This
yes,
guy would 100% pull over and ride a ride in a parking lot mall
I
on a
relate to
Thursday
this
night.
guy. It's like the guy who's like, I'm having fun. right now, and it's like, but no one else is, you know? No one else is having
Yeah.
fun with your
And he also was
bubbles.
kinda, like, trying to force it. He was like, "Everybody's taking bracelets, but nobody's taking the mistakes bracelets. I need more people to take mistakes bracelets," which I loved. He was, like, trying to force just shenanigans, tomfoolery, like, all of it.
Mhm. And then he doesn't show up to work, and so everyone thinks, like, "Oh, he's not showing up because the mistakes party was a huge mistake and it was really bad," but it's actually
Mhm,
because a refrigerator fell on him,
mhm.
and
Yeah.
thank God Ron suggests someone go look in on him because it saves his
Thank
life.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really feel like each episode it's hard to, like, distinguish each episode from the other episode because it's all, like, these super small things that are just ridiculous bit scenarios, but they're so
Mhm.
funny when they're all compiled together, and yeah, it's like, "Oh, like, what happened in the show?" Well, he still hasn't gotten to the bottom of talking to customer service for the chair company. We're still trying to
Right.
get that taken care of, but all the
Right.
hijinks have ensued.
Yeah, and it's just getting a little bit darker and darker, and I'm a little worried, honestly, for Ron in the
Mhm.
next 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm worried for him, like, on an individual level because he's in too deep and it's starting to distract him from his work, and
Mhm.
we know that Cheap Tours, his side hustle, was not successful a few years ago, also a brilliant idea, and
Some
we don't want
brilliant
him to have to go back
ideas
to
are
Cheap Tours.
too early for their time, you know?
They are too early at the time, and we don't want him to have to go back to Cheap Tours. I'm also worried he's gonna be like, his family is gonna be in danger. Like, there's part of me that's thinking about his family and worried about them because these people know where he lives, right?
And they're
They
sitting
know
outside
that
his
he's on
house.
they know that yes, and they know he's on to something, and so, I don't know.
Yeah. And his wife has all these, like, meetings with her investor because she's trying to come up with, like, a subtle breast pump for nursing
Mhm,
mothers, and so they
mhm,
were both entrepreneurs at one point, and he's gone back to this mall building company, to kind of financially support them during
right,
these uncertain entrepreneurial times, and,
yeah.
he's really dropping some balls here, you know?
Big
And
time.
making some interesting choices, and no one can and there's also, like, he's running out of meetings to try and figure out this chair company thing. He's sneaking out the back door. He's working with the custodian who
Yeah,
has a wheelbarrow to try and, like, get a chair into his car, right? Like, he's definitely like, when someone's hiding something, but you don't know what it is that they're hiding? I feel like
right.
that's this scenario. They're all kinda like, "Hey, like, you seem distracted."
And you're like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine."
I'm fine. I'm just trying to
I have a
uncover, like,
different
a huge, violent chair company shell company,
which he gives that information he tells that to his daughter.
just to his
Like,
daughter.
towards the end of
Yes.
yeah, just
Mhm.
to his daughter, and she is trying to be supportive, and it's, like, kinda, like, taking her back. She has this, like, flashback to when he was trying to build Cheap Tours, and he was just like, "I've gotta figure this out, it's gotta work," right? Um, so I guess the depot I have for you is what's the last thing that you went on, like, a deep dive, like, just really, kinda couldn't get yourself out of, um
Mm.
trying to solve or just, like, really got you super distracted, um,
Mm.
beyond the normal level of distraction.
Ooh, I feel like I get distracted all the time. I think it's
Sure.
just like I walk into a room and then I can't stop doing things like trunk or treat. Like, I really was very focused on building a huge cat for our
Mhm,
trunk. So I had to get all the materials. And then I spent a significant portion of time cutting out a huge foam cat and painting it and then figuring out how the mechanics of making it stand up in the wind. And it wasn't necessarily like a need to have because I had also purchased a cat trunk or treat kit. Um, but I
mhm,
really felt like I had to do that. And I think that could be something. Can I tell you
yeah,
something that happened actually, Tuesday to me? 2 things that happened back to back, though, that I feel like
yeah,
sent me on a spiral, like, just in my head.
yeah,
Like, I haven't, like, chased
yeah.
anyone down, but, I was at McDonald's with Arthur, my 6-year-old son, and at McDonald's, we're eating inside the restaurant, and this McDonald's employee says, "Is that your grandson?" to me.
Oh,
And I was
no.
like, "What? No, that's my son." And then I was like, okay, well, like this person clearly just doesn't know what's going on. Then I drop Arthur off at school. I go to vote, and I'm coming out of the voting place, and this older gentleman is walking next to me, and he was saying, "Oh, next year they'll let us park in this circle area closer because parking lot's so far away." And then he says, "And there are people who vote who are older than us." Us. Like him and me. Like him and me in the same age bracket. Like we're together, like older than us, Amanda. Us. Like us grandparents. And the same day, this is 2 hits right in a row on Mercury retrograde, I think is why. But I have spiraled pretty hard about it. I've been pretty upset about being miscategorized by my
Well, I
demographic.
guess the question is, were you still wearing the costume that you had for trunk or treat where you were dressed like an older lady?
No.
Because you did look older with that makeup.
I did. I did. No, I was not. I was wearing normal fresh face makeup, which I don't even do hardly ever, but I was like, I'll put on mascara. And then I was wearing, I thought, a cute outfit too. I was like, look, I look cute and trendy, but I guess I looked like a grandma.
Well, grandmas can be cute and trendy.
Yeah. Yeah. Not when you're 37 years old, you know? I should not look like a grandma who's cute and trendy.
Well,
I'll get to the
I don't know what
bottom
to
of
say to
it.
that.
I
I
just
don't think I mean, like, anybody who knows you knows that you're clearly a middle-aged mom. Like, you're not
Yeah, and then Kyle was
you're
like, "Well,
not
maybe
a
they thought you were a
grandmother.
teen mom who had a teen kid," and I was like, "That would still put me at an older age than I am. Because even if I
Not
was a
necessarily.
16-year-old and then I had a 16-year-old daughter who had a kid, that would be older than me right now."
Well, you could also have had the kid earlier than 16.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be. That would be 16 is 32. Never mind, that would be younger. That would be the only scenario that it would work
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be
Anyways,
very Gilmore
I
Girls
just feel like,
situation.
because that's why I relate, because in this show, people are saying things to Tim Robinson that are like, why are you saying that to me? Like, why would you say that you've never been in a mall when I just said that I build malls? Right? Why would you say you're telling HR when we both know this is an accident? Why are you telling me that you're glad I got the job, but you are more fun? Like why are we doing this? Why are we listening to some weird with that security guard and he's driving with them and they're listening to like this horrible porno and it's like, no, this is comedy. It's like, why are we doing this? This isn't
That was
appropriate.
really funny.
That was
That
really
was really
funny.
funny.
It was pretty funny.
There's just so many parts in the show that are so unexpected that I feel like it's one of those that you can watch again to catch the rest of it
Yeah.
because you got to be on top of it. And you know what? Ron's on top of it. He's trying to find the answers. I'm curious, something we haven't done in a while, but because we are only halfway through this season and we've
Mhm.
both only seen the first 4 episodes, would you be interested in going on a quick trip with me, even though I just saw you?
Yeah, let's do it. Maybe a train ride?
You want to go to Prediction Town?
Let's do
We
it.
haven't been there in a hot minute, and I would love to see what it looks like in the fall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, ready? Chugga, chugga,
Yeah.
chugga, 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 choo, choo.
Get off the train. Here we go. Red
Okay.
Bull Company.
I think this is going to be like a Truman Show moment where it's like everything is the chair company. So he actually is working for the chair company unwillingly, and he's a patsy Ponzi prop person in this
Mhm.
whole maniacal situation.
Okay.
That's one prediction that I have.
Okay. Um, I do think he's going to lose his job.
Mm.
I think he's going to lose his job. I also think his daughter and her fiance are not going to get married.
In the haunted
Or
house?
alternative, they do get married in the haunted house, and the Tecca people are involved somehow in the haunted house wedding, which would be more fun.
Oh my gosh. I know I don't like the daughter's fiance for her. She's really a
No, not for her.
Debbie Downer
Yeah.
person.
Hmm.
Like, oh, what a wet blanket.
Yeah.
I think the son's drinking could come back too, because maybe he's one of the teens who was drinking at the mall. Because
Oh
now his
yeah.
son is drinking outside the house. And
Hmm.
that could be something that spirals. And then I just feel like there's got to be something where Tecca is more directly involved, to your point, in their family dynamic, right? Like
Yeah.
Tecca becomes the investor for his wife's breast pump.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I also think back to the son, when he had that little hat that came in the kit and he like gave it to his son. He's like, "Look, I got you this hat." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've read about these." He didn't know what it was, but he kept it and like pinned it to his backpack because he's trying to like connect with his dad.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be a connection there and his son like goes on this like investigation tour and gets into these hijinks with them because it's a way for them to connect. I wonder about that.
That would be fun. That'd be really
Hmm.
fun. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think,
Tecca's gonna be in deep with them.
yeah, it's got to be like the closer he gets, the closer Tecca gets to him. Another quick fun
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is when he is getting all these calls from like casting directors who are like, "We're so sorry, but you
Oh,
did
yeah,
not
yeah.
get the part because Tecca has signed him up to go on all these auditions and he is not doing it." So everyone thinks that he's auditioning for these like catalog photo shoots and these like small bit parts, and he's not getting them because he's not handsome enough or he's not like relatable enough, which is just another, like, he didn't even want that. He didn't even wanna sign up for it, but now he's getting rejected without even trying for something, which is, like, a nightmare, frankly.
Absolute nightmare because that whole world, that slog of print and film and TV auditions is such a wild world to be in. So to be getting all of those rejections normally, yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yes. Golly, what a good show. I can't wait for the next
It is
4.
so great. I want more people to watch it. If you're not a Tim Robinson fan, you should be a Tim Robinson fan.
Yeah, and you should give this
Because
show a
we're
try.
Yeah, we are huge show fans and Tim Robinson fans.
Yeah,
So
of course.
11 out of 10 on this one. Like I can't wait. I mean, the fortunate, unfortunate reality of this is that HBO is dropping it like it's not so hot and giving it to us once a week and making us wait.
Yeah.
They're making us
Mhm.
wait.
Yeah.
They're playing a little hard to get with this one.
I know.
Rather than like that instant gratification, we have to be like, I like it enough to come back for more, you
And
know?
I will. I'll watch the next 4, and then I think we should recap those.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. We'll do that.
We should close the case on the Cheer Company.
Absolutely. We haven't decided what we're watching next, so we probably should sign off and then we can talk about it offline and then I'll edit it in the way I do. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. You don't wanna watch the Kim Kardashian show? I think they're slow releasing that too. It's currently got 0 stars on Rotten Tomatoes, 0%, which is pretty incredible. It's the divorce
Okay.
show where she's a lawyer, but it's also got a lot of other great actors in it.
Yeah, we can talk about it offline about what we watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it could
Hmm.
be
It could be.
iconic.
It could be. It could be
Kim Kardashian
iconic.
only does iconic shit. That's a Kim Kardashian quote.
Says Kim Kardashian. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's sign off.
Thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't know what to say in that review, you could say, pull up a chair and listen to this podcast. And hopefully that chair doesn't break the way that this podcast breaks through to my heart.
It's excellent and probably Tim Robinson approved.
Okay. All right. Well, great. See you
Okay.
next
So
week.
great. Bye.
Bye.